Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Did I pass?
So we've just been informed that our controller and our one commissioner wasn't aware that it was out here and they're on their way. But with that being said, I'll ask the warden if you can give Norm's report.
Oh, sure. The house arrest report is as follows. There are 125 participants on adult house arrest and 18 juveniles. We got numbers finally, and I don't know if that got shared with you. I just got them this morning, so they have the year-to-date totals and revenue from adult house arrest. It's $340,000, $340,157 and 56 cents, and from the juvenile house arrest, it's $31,364 for a year-to-date revenue of $371,521 and 56 cents. The program expenses. $57,287 and 13 cents. Program completions 45, violations and returns 4, program warrants 5, and the year-to-date budget report, the overtime's at 26%, expenses at 65%, and revenue at 55%. And that's the extent of the house arrest report.
Any questions on the report? Motion to accept the report.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed. Warden, your report, please.
All righty. The average daily population for August was 628 inmates. 478 were county inmates. We averaged 573 adult males, 2 juvenile males, and 53 adult females. And the average daily population of U.S. Marshal detainees was 144, and the average daily population of Susquehanna County detainees was 6. Our overtime and out-of-county boarding reports are attached. Staffing update, currently our correctional officers' numbers break down to 175 full-timers on staff, 5 out on workers' comp, 0 out on continuous FMLA, 74 with intermittent FMLA. We have 1 officer out on administrative leave, and we have 1 full-time vacancy, and that's a total of 182 full-time officers. Budget as of August 31st, revenue was at 52%, expenses were at 66%, and our overtime is at 46%. Extraordinary occurrence reports. There were 2 extraordinary occurrences in the month of August and 1 that occurred on September 9th. On 8/16, a newly committed male appeared to be intoxicated and presented himself in an aggressive and belligerent manner. A decision was made to place him in the emergency restraint chair for the safety of everyone involved. On 8/23, the County Sheriff's Department brought an uncooperative male into the facility. He became uncooperative with us during the booking process and began to yell at and threaten staff, and a decision was made to place him in the emergency restraint chair for the safety of all involved. And finally, on 9/9, an individual was found unconscious in a cell. Our staff placed a call to 911 and had an ambulance dispatched to the facility. Prior to the arrival of the ambulance, our staff performed CPR until the EMTs arrived. This individual was sent to the ER of the CMC, and at some point in time was declared deceased. The district attorney's office was contacted, and in conjunction with the Pennsylvania State Police, an investigation into this is ongoing. PREA, there were 2 PREA investigations completed in the month of August. Both were deemed unfounded. One was a staff on inmate sexual harassment allegation, and the other was a staff on inmate sexual contact allegation. The completed investigations have been forwarded to the DA's office for further action if deemed appropriate. And finally, if there's an executive session, I have just a brief couple matters to discuss, nothing of real urgency, but if there is one, that's fine. If there's not, that's fine as well. And that concludes my report.
Warden, just my own curiosity, could you give me a breakdown for the last 2 years of how many females we've had, what the population is on a monthly basis?
Oh, yeah, I could,
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I can't just
Yeah,
recite
no,
that, but I could.
No, if you can just
I
get
have
forward
those
to me
numbers.
next week, I'd appreciate it, just trying to look at a program that we're working on.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
not a problem. Not a problem. There was one last thing that I didn't include in my report because I had submitted it. I received a late email from Denise Brown about a couple questions she had, and it'll just take a second to go through them. She was asking about the facility jobs that are available to males and females. So I did a breakdown. What we have is we have 11 jobs that are available for female offenders here. Most of them are block worker jobs, but we also employ a female individual for administration, building cleaning, as well as out here in the reception area. So all in all, there's 11 jobs. They all get paid $5 a day. Not the going rate, but you know, it's not bad for an institution to pay someone $5 a day. Really what that breaks down to, the 11 jobs based on our population, is about 15 to 20% of our female offenders would be employed. You can look at it that way, with institutional jobs. That same number, 15 to 20%, holds true for the men. There's a lot more men, a lot more housing units. They have jobs, they work the kitchen, laundry, and block worker jobs. Their pays range from $3 a day to $10 a day. The ones that get $10 a day are basically working doubles, if you will. If you're working in our maintenance department, you're working all day long. They get a little bit more. I think maybe Ms. Brown was looking to see if there was any disparate treatment there or pay, if you will. But again, the block workers, male block workers on a whole make $3 a day. The females get $5 a day. And they do a great job, just to put that out there. There was a question about our laundry service and how we ensure people get their clothing back. The way that works is you put all your laundry into a fishnet bag with your name on it. It goes into the washer like that, goes into the dryer like that, and gets returned to you. Do things disappear? Yeah, because sometimes the laundry bags will come apart in the wash or in the dryer. But for the most part, it's a pretty high percentage return rate, if you will. And finally, Ms. Brown was asking about the TVs throughout the institution here and whether or not they have closed caption wording, and they all have that capability. I don't know that they're all turned on at that time, but if we have somebody that's requesting that the closed captioning show up, we could do that. So that's not an issue. And that was basically it. If I missed something, she'll make mention, but that's no problem. And that concludes my report.
Any other questions for the warden?
Yeah, just briefly, Judge. Warden, on the staffing update, did I hear this right? 175 on shift with 5 out on workman's comp?
Yes.
Okay, because I had 178, the one I just.
Yeah,
Just
it's,
a misprint.
no, that was the number when I submitted the
Okay.
report. It's changed since then.
And 1 on administrative leave?
Yes,
Okay, and 1 full-time vacancy.
yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Judge.
Motion to accept the warden's report.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Apologies, Judge, we thought it was at the other building.
Not a problem. Yes, that's, Controller, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
I like your jacket, very dapper.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
huh?
going over big today.
Looks like it could be Easter almost.
It's after Labor Day, I don't know, my wife wasn't there this morning when I put it on, so.
Could we have the controller's report and current payables for the,
Thanks, yes. Controller's report of the prison inmate and canteen accounts for August of 2025. The Controller's Office reviewed the prison inmate and canteen account reconciliations, which were prepared by the Prison Business Office for the month of July 2025, and found no discrepancies between the reconciliations and the bank statement. The balance in the inmate account was $428,156 as of August 31st, 2025. The balance in the canteen checking account was $582,986 $1,022.46 as of August 31st. In addition, as of August 31st, the canteen account also included a balance in the Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust investment account of $969,002.17, which is earning approximately $33,423 per month, and which will next mature in January of 2026. During the month of August, $149,281.41 was paid from the canteen account for the benefit, welfare, and education of county prison inmates. And an itemized detail of those expenses are attached to my account. And that concludes my account, Judge.
Any questions on the
My
account?
report.
A motion to accept the controller's report?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We have a motion to approve all current payables for the Community Corrections Center and the prison.
So. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Opportunity for the public to address the board. Mr. McHugh, I'd be saddened if you weren't to address us here.
I don't know about that, Your Honor, but I'm here anyway. I'm just here to remind people about our festival, the Lackawanna County Reentry Task Force. That festival will be held tomorrow from 11 to 3 at the courthouse, outside the courthouse, on the Linden Street side of the courthouse. As of today, we have about 23 organizations or agencies that are related to helping people coming out of prison for successful reentry into the community. We have about 23 to 24 agencies are represented that will be there with resource tables there tomorrow. So I think anybody who is looking to help somebody who's coming out, or you want to find out more about the resources that are available in Lackawanna County, tomorrow would be a great day to stop by. You can hit up 20, 25 people in one stop. We'll be there from 11 to 3. We'll have entertainment from 11 to 1. There's a guy named Clarence Spady who's going to be playing, and then from 1 to 3 we have Wade Preston. I call him Scranton's Piano Man. He'll be playing from 1 to 3. So the entertainment will be great. My understanding is the weather's going to be good. And what else? There was one other thing I wanted to mention. At 2 o'clock we'll have a little bit of a program with some of the county officials that are being very supportive of our program. I did get a call today from the new coordinator for the reentry up in Susquehanna County, and she's now interested because of the fact that, as you know, we're having some Susquehanna County inmates down here too, as a result of them closing the prison up there. So she'll be there tomorrow, and she wants to learn more about the resources they have available. So I'm looking forward to that. They're looking to try to start a reentry task force up in Susquehanna County, and I think tomorrow, when she sees tomorrow and the support that we have and the resources that are going to be there, she'll be really encouraged to pursue a reentry task force up in Susquehanna County. That's it. Do you mind if I leave this here and somebody can put it for us? If there's any
Thanks
questions.
for all the work that you've done over the years in regard to it. It really is a help. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge. All right, thanks.
Other members of the public?
Thank you, Warden, for answering my questions. Denise Brown, Troop. On the controller's report, there's approximately $15,000 that was paid to outreach for the GED program. Do we know how many people are enrolled in that program?
We have somebody from Outreach here.
I believe it was somewhere around 19 or 20.
Okay, thank you. And I just recently saw the medical report that's attached to the Warden's report. It's concerning that 470 out of 628 inmates are on psychotropic medications. It seems like an awful large population to be on those drugs, and I'm wondering are they also getting counseling and behavioral therapy along with the drugs? These drugs can be very addictive, so I'm kind of wondering, are we just giving them the drugs and saying, okay, here you go, or are we following through with that?
Some are, some aren't.
Can we get more some than some aren't?
We get more resources, yeah.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board. Frankie Malacaria, resident of Scranton, member of Lackawanna County Prisoner Advocacy Group. 2 concerns I'm here for today. One was I think early August, we submitted a background check packet for someone that is interested in coming into the prison to do ESL classes. We had messaged with ESL, English Second Language. We sent that in August, haven't heard back. We emailed the warden a couple of weeks ago. He got back to us, and then we had improperly sent it to Colleen instead of Jason for the background check. So I sent out another email on the 15th to Jason asking if there was any update for Tom's background check, as it's been a relatively substantial period of time since we've heard any update on that. So wondering if we can get an update on Tom's background check.
What was his last name?
Mazzulio?
I do believe he's cleared, but I'll check for you.
Appreciate it. And then the second point that we wanted to bring up, we understand that there's roughly 10 to 15% of each gender is being employed in the prison at this point. Something that had come up with discussions is women's clothing often goes missing. And as the warden had stated, that the men in the prison do all the laundry for all the inmates. Something that was brought up that maybe women should be doing women's laundry to prevent items from going missing. Folks that have bought sweatpants and stuff like that, garments that have gone missing in the wash. This would, not only allow for some more enrichment for female prisoners, but would also allow for them have a little bit more peace of mind about their articles being returned after washes. So I think that might be something that you all would want to consider. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Board. Maggie Craig, Scranton. I've been coming to prison board meetings for almost 3 years now. And one of the great things that has come of this endeavor is that about a year ago, classroom space was made free in the prison. And I've been coordinating a writing class for women who are incarcerated. So that'll be about a year in November that we're doing that. And I thought it was about time that I share one of their pieces of writing with you. So I'm going to read a poem by someone from that class. It's called Cup and Towel. And also thank you for Colleen, for making sure the class is well resourced with notebooks and pens and pencils. We've had everything we've needed. Cup and Towel. I remember when all I had were tears, thinking it would never end. Those lonely nights in the cold when God was my only friend. Between the shrill screams and slamming doors bouncing off the walls came the flashbacks and those deafening moments of where it all went wrong. I remember when I took the jumper off with not a clue in my mind. 6 months later, the same unfamiliar faces in and out, time after time, yet I'm still confused and angry because I left my children behind. Every time I heard cup and towel, it would piss me off. Sick of this annoying-ass toilet, beans, and these fake-ass meatballs. I remember all the friendships we've built and all the laughter I've had. Imagine all the humility and inhumanity one picture can grab, then wrap it in a bow and call it reason, to be grateful to have been able to perfect my craft, grateful for the 1 cup of ice cream we get a year, grateful for all the horror stories I got to hear, horror stories that are rehabilitating in itself. Now I'm counting my blessings, wishing I'd left that bottle on the shelf. Grateful for all the creativity we've cultivated inside, finding that their most profound art was hidden behind those guttural cries, written in letters to their addiction, contradicting all the lies. Grateful for heat, because it's too cold to eat, then it's too hot in the heat, so we need cold to sleep. Snuggling up in that extra blanket we're not allowed to keep. Thankful for all the fights because it made us stronger. Grateful for the tea and coffee because it suppressed the hunger. Grateful for the friends that hustle and get shit done. No man left behind, even the older squirrely one. Grateful for extra milks, music, and cable TV because although we can't hear it, a girl's still allowed to dream. The smell of crayon on our laundry we can't escape. Oh, how I can't wait to smell the fresh scent of gain. The sound of children getting on my nerves and how I'll never complain. Grateful for falling in and out of love here, keeping us from going insane. The level of patience, humbleness, and discipline this hellhole has ingrained. Grateful because it's been a long journey and I was hard to tame. Grateful because it's been a long journey and I am no longer ashamed. I've had some crazy stories to tell, and life will never be viewed the same. I remember when all I had were tears under a gray wool blanket. I would lay 750 plus days. I've lost hair, trauma, and 10 years of dead weight. I remember predicting exactly what they'd say. Soon, next time I hear cup and towel, they'll be calling my name. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public?
Hello, Liz Parsons. I just wanted to sort of present an idea to the board. I know for anybody who isn't aware, in one of the prior commissioner meetings, the commissioners and the DA worked together to implement a community service program in lieu of incarceration, which our advocacy group is very excited about. I know when Maggie and I had met with Dan DeMuth, who did the solitary confinement report, which I'm not done talking about, but letting all of our new members settle in. He had spoke very highly of the work release program at the prison that he was one of the first employees for back in maybe the 70s or 80s. And so, you know, our group understands that community service can't be offered to everybody in lieu of incarceration, but we also understand that keeping people employed while they're incarcerated is beneficial to individuals and the community. And I'm sure there's a lot of benefits to the prison as well in keeping, you know, rule breaking and things of that sort to a minimum. And so I'm hoping this is the place that could possibly consider implementing the work release program. Not familiar when it ended. Was it with COVID? So it ended with COVID. I know a lot of programs ended with COVID that the board and the warden have been able to revisit, such as the classrooms that Maggie just mentioned. And so I'm hoping that maybe the board and Warden Betti would put some thought and consideration into re-implementing the work release program.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
That is one of my top priorities, is to get that up and running again. Last year, just as a whole, as a county, we had tremendous financial challenges, and we're turning the corner, but we're not there yet. But the consultants that we hired produced a report that's on the county's website, and there's a section in there that talks about the work release center.
Oh, okay.
And the fact that we do need to bring that back because we would actually save money. So right now, we're just trying to figure out how to do it, you know, what building and all that. So we are talking about that, and it's one of my top priorities to bring that back because it's a great program and we should have it.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much.
I can tell you that for the court, it is the top priority.
Yes, there you go.
Great, yeah.
Unfortunately, the history of it is twofold. Number one, COVID, and number two, the building that it was housed in was really inadequate for the housing of the inmates. We also have a discrepancy between the males and females. So there's a number of issues that are being looked at right now in regard to moving that forward. But it is very important because it's not only a reduction of costs, it also helps lower recidivism. So there's multiple reasons for us to make it a priority.
Great, thank you so much. We're really happy to hear that that's being worked on and looking forward to it being re-implemented.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eileen Pinty Dunmore. My concern as a retired nurse is the mental health and the medical care in the prison. Recently, we changed to get a physician-owned mental health provider or medical provider, and I am just looking at the numbers from the report that Denise referred to. 90-some% of the population here has a drug or alcohol issue. We just don't have enough people, if they're working 24/7, to do the proper counseling and proper follow-up that's needed, never mind the medical care. So I just don't know if there's any other way you could find funding or maybe press this team that's in charge of our medical care to get more staffing. It looks like, according to that report, that they have a position for 2 medical doctors, yet only 1 is filled. So this is a group that's owned by medical people, and they can't get sufficient staffing? I mean, this is deplorable, the number of, I mean, every nurse everywhere complains about low staffing, but this is really extreme low staffing, I think. And if there's any way you could find other funding to hopefully get either mental health workers or medical workers in here to help our inmates. Thank you.
Reverend Doug Posgate, retired Protestant clergy, spent about 15 years serving churches in this county. Bev DeBarros, who's not able to be here today, and I lead the women's Bible study at the facility. And I understand that when women come in and are processed, they're asked to refer to a particular denomination or faith tradition. And then later, when it's called down for a list of those who would go up to the Bible study, unless a particular name is on that list, they're refused to be able to go up. Is that legal? I'm not asking you that question to know, but we used to have as many as 20 to 30 when the population was 100. Now we have probably an average of 4. Any questions for me for that? I do realize it's summer and lots of times they're out enjoying some of the weather. Understood.
There's 2 sides to that, because at some level, we identify people because they have special needs that we're required to accommodate. So if we don't know, special meals or services, it's not so much as prohibiting, but we need to identify to make sure we're providing some of the religious rights that they have. So it's not necessarily an inquiry to stop people from doing things. It's to, they can say, I'm of this faith and I have these, part of my religious practices requires this, and we try to accommodate those. So it's not meant to be an exclusionary practice.
Understood, that's appreciated, but that number of individuals specifically have special needs? Maybe.
No, I can't speak to the numbers or specifics. I'm saying in general, we're not making inquiries so we exclude them from things, but we have to make sure we're giving what they've got administratively. I can't speak to that.
All right. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, on the same topic, I actually filled in for the writing class a couple months ago and have talked to formerly incarcerated people from Lackawanna. And I think the issue is when people are doing their intake, obviously most of the extraordinary incidents are upon intake, right? And so people are entering the prison and they might not be in the right state of mind or experiencing confusion, anxiety, and they also might be disconnected with their religious practices or have not explored that before. And so I think the question is not necessarily in asking upon intake, but if they haven't identified it upon intake, they're not allowed to attend Bible study. And so there's people who used to attend religious practices who are no longer allowed to do that if it's not identified as their religion upon intake. And so I think that's where the question lies, is many people who are incarcerated, are exploring different faiths or spiritual practices while they're incarcerated. And so their inability to do that all of a sudden when they were able to attend prior to without the identification on intake is like where the question is. If maybe we can change that practice so people are able to attend if they haven't identified being like Catholic, Christian, Muslim, or something upon intake. Thank you.
Students are allowed to request to add or change their religion at any point in time.
Okay, well, and Yeah, and I do appreciate that. Some people maybe are in an exploratory phase of like faith and spirituality, and so maybe identifying as that might not be comfortable for everybody, but to be able to attend a Bible study without necessarily identifying with that faith, I think maybe what's in question. But I'm not sure that people know that they can change it at any time too, so that's news to us. Thank you.
With that being said, any other members' business?
Does he want an executive session?
Yeah, all right, at this time, we are going to go into executive session with the warden.
I was seeking authorization from the board for hiring of a lieutenant here at the Lackawanna County Prison by the name of Jennifer Luna. She was a captain down at Northumberland County facility, and she's a great choice as far as we're concerned.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Warden, thank you very much, and thank you for the other information. With that being said, motion for adjournment? Oh, wait, the minutes. We were so anxious for a call to order that we never got through the reading and approval of the minutes. Motion for the approval of the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.